I never thought my life would unravel under the blinding sun of Harvard Yard, in front of 400 strangers, cameras clicking like gunfire. But that day, my sister's graduation day, my parents disowned me. They struck my name from the program, deleted me from photos, even erased me from their will. And while the world watched them humiliate me publicly, I made a vow. If they wanted to erase me from their legacy, then I would be the one to shatter it. My name is Isabella Chen. To understand how I reached that moment at Harvard, you need to know the house I grew up in. My father, Richard Chen, was a man who lived for control. He was a top surgeon, the kind of doctor who could stand for 12 hours in an operating room without breaking a sweat, and yet couldn't bear the thought of his daughter coloring outside the lines. My mother, Evelyn, was elegance sculpted into flesh. She ran charity boards, hosted dazzling galas, and perfected the art of pretending. To the world, she was flawless. At home, her love was conditional. And then there was Sophia, my younger sister. The golden child. If perfection had a face, it was hers. The perfect GPA. The perfect smile. The perfect violin recitals. The perfect daughter. Me? I was a problem. I loved words more than numbers. I filled notebooks with stories about people who didn't exist, characters who understood me better than my own parents ever tried to. While Sophia practiced Bach, I scribbled late into the night, my desk lamp flickering. But in my house, dreams didn't matter. Only achievements that could polish the family name did. You'll never survive writing, my father would snap when I mentioned my passion. Do something real. You embarrass us, my mother whispered once, when I showed up to a charity event in a dress I'd sewn myself instead of wearing the designer gown she picked. So I learned early that my existence was inconvenient. But I never thought they'd erase me completely. The older we got, the sharper the differences became. Sophia thrived. I stumbled. When she got accepted to Harvard, my parents threw a champagne party with gold-trimmed invitations. When I published my first short story in a literary journal, they barely acknowledged it. Your little hobby, my mother said dismissively. It wasn't just neglect. It was a campaign to shrink me into nothingness. Every family photo had Sophia in the center. Every holiday toast was to her achievements. And every mistake of mine was magnified. I was used to being invisible. But what happened on graduation day, that was something else entirely. The air was heavy with pride that day. Crimson banners rippled in the June breeze. Parents held bouquets and cameras. Students hugged each other in gowns that whispered with every step. I sat 2 rows behind my parents, watching Sophia radiate in her cap and gown. Her hair shone like spun gold, her smile practiced to perfection. When the dean's voice rang out, graduates cheered, families applauded. Booklets were handed out. I flipped through mine lazily, until my eyes froze. Sophia's biography. Sophia Chen, daughter of Richard and Evelyn Chen. Beloved sister of. Silence. Just a period. No, Isabella. No me. My heart hammered. I turned to my mother, gripping the booklet. Why isn't my name here? Her lipstick smile didn't falter. She leaned close, her perfume suffocating. Because you're no longer part of this family. I blinked. What are you talking about? My father's eyes were cold steel. We warned you, Isabella. Your choices. Your rebellion. You've dragged our name through mud long enough. Today is not about you. Today, you are nothing. The words carved themselves into me like knives. And then it got worse. When Sophia crossed the stage, the audience roared. My parents stood, waving, clapping proudly. I clapped too, hesitant, small. Afterward, families gathered for photos. My parents posed with Sophia, wrapping arms around her, their smiles glowing. I stepped forward, my chest tight. Let me get one with you guys, I murmured. My father raised his hand sharply. Not you. Laughter stopped. Conversations faltered. 400 eyes turned toward us. You are no daughter of mine, he thundered. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sophia's lips curved into a victorious smirk. My mother nodded coldly. We've already erased you from our will, Isabella. Consider this your final goodbye. I wanted to vanish, to dissolve into the grass beneath me. But instead, I stood there, fists trembling, tears threatening, but I didn't cry. No. That day, I made a vow. If they thought they could erase me, then I would erase them first. I left Harvard Yard hollow but burning. My humiliation was public. My rage was private. At first, I thought of running. Changing my name. Starting fresh. But every time I remembered my father's voice, my mother's cold smile, Sophia's smug look, my sorrow calcified into something sharper. Revenge. But not the kind of revenge that ends with blood or broken glass. No. I wanted to burn them where it hurt most, their reputation. Because my parents didn't love each other. They didn't even love Sophia. What they loved, what they worshipped, was the Chen name. The pristine family image. So I started digging. I worked nights as a freelance researcher, but during the day I became a detective of my own bloodline. My father's hospital contracts. Corrupt. He overbilled patients, dismissed those who couldn't pay, and funneled kickbacks from pharmaceutical reps. My mother's charities? A facade. She skimmed donations, stashing them in offshore accounts. Even Sophia's academic career was a lie. Her scholarships were purchased through strategic donations to Harvard. I even found a video, Sophia drunk at a party, boasting, "Daddy bought my way here." Do you think I actually earned it? The Qin Empire was a castle of glass. And I was holding the first stone. But revenge is only satisfying when timed perfectly. So I waited. I gathered evidence. And I planned. 6 months later, the annual Qin Foundation Gala shimmered like a palace of lies. Black-tie guests arrived in limousines, sipping champagne beneath crystal chandeliers. Politicians, CEOs, professors, all eager to bask in the glow of my parents' carefully crafted image. I walked in quietly, dressed in black silk, my hair sleek, my lipstick crimson. To them, I was invisible again. Perfect. On stage, my father welcomed the guests with his signature gravitas. My mother glowed at his side. Sophia, draped in silver, was the radiant jewel of the night. The lights dimmed for the presentation. A highlight reel of the Qin Foundation's achievements was cued to play. But I had rewritten the script. The screen flickered. And instead of their curated video, mine appeared. Emails. Bank transfers. Testimonies. A patient sobbing about being denied surgery because she couldn't pay. A clip of Sophia bragging about her bought degree. Audio of my mother instructing her accountant to bury money. Gasps erupted. Whispers spread like wildfire. And then my voice filled the ballroom. Since you erased me from your family, I thought I'd return the favor. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the real Qin legacy. Chaos. Reporters surged. Guests grabbed their phones. Cameras flashed like lightning. My father's face turned ashen, his lips trembling with fury. My mother swayed, her mask cracking. Sophia screamed, "Shut it off! Shut it off!" But it was too late. Their empire collapsed in real time, in front of the very people they had worked their lives to impress. I slipped out silently, leaving them to drown in the storm. The aftermath was brutal. My father was suspended, investigated for malpractice and fraud. His name stripped from medical boards. My mother's charities dissolved under federal inquiry. Sophia's degree was revoked when the bribery scandal surfaced. The Chin name, once synonymous with prestige, became a national scandal. As for me, I didn't disappear. I published my memoir, Erased. I told everything, the humiliation at Harvard, the lies, the revenge. It became a bestseller. People saw me. They knew my name. For the first time, I wasn't invisible. And my parents? They tried to rebuild. They tried to silence me. But every time they stood up, the truth of my story was louder. In the end, I didn't just erase their legacy. I replaced it with mine. Because if they thought I was nothing, I proved them wrong. I still remember Harvard Yard. The moment my father said, "You are no daughter of mine." Now, years later, I smile at the irony. Because today, when people speak of the Chin family, they don't remember Richard, Evelyn, or even Sophia. They remember me. The daughter they tried to erase, who shattered their legacy instead. The end.